Hi everyone and welcome once again to Ruby's Classic Cooking. And today I'm making oatmeal raisin cookies. So let's get going. In this bowl I have 1.25 cups of all-purpose flour. That's all-purpose Canadian flour. And to that I'm going to be adding some salt, baking soda not baking powder, and some cinnamon. So let's get this stuff mixed in here. Let me see, where's my recipe? 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt goes in. And that's followed by 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda, not baking powder. Goes over here. And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon goes in next. Go. And I'm just going to mix these together. Because it says to sift them together, but you don't need to sift them together. You can just stir them together. Once there's no lumps here, you're fine. Yep. And as long as you don't spray it all over the countertop. That works too. In this bowl I have my flour, my salt, my baking soda, and my cinnamon. Now I'm going to add 1.25 cups of rolled oats. Rolled oats, there you go. That's the kind I use. And now I have 1.25 cups of rolled oats in there. See that? Now just give that a little stir up. There you go, all mixed together. I'm going to cream together 1/2 cup of butter. Yes, that's 1/2 cup of butter in here, but I just kind of spread it out so it would be smaller chunks and easier to blend in, because I'm going to cream that with 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Remember sandcastles on the beach when you were a kid? That's what these should look like when they go in here. That's 1/4 and 1/4, and 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 1/2. There you go. All right, so that's 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So basically equal amounts of brown sugar and butter. So there you go. There's my 2 sandcastle lumps of brown sugar in there. And I'm going to beat these together. I'm going to cream them together until the sugar and the butter combine together, and they become something else and not 2 discrete ingredients. They become 1 ingredient combined together. As you can see today, I'm just using my good old-fashioned wooden spoon. You can do this with an electric handheld mixer, or you can do it with your stand mixer if you're feeling like you don't want to exercise. This gives your arm muscles a little exercise. I'm not sure, it won't probably burn the calories that you use to eat 1 cookie, but you know, you can tell yourself that, you know, you're doing something good. You're at least trying to use some energy and create some exercise here, so when you eat a cookie or 2, you won't feel like, well, I totally didn't exercise anything. I just made them the lazy man's way and now I'm eating them. You want to make sure all the streaks of butter are combined with the brown sugar. Helps if your butter is room temperature to do this, but I forgot to get it out last night, so it wasn't room temperature this morning. So instead I took it out of the fridge and I split it up into little teeny weeny pieces in my bowl so that it would have a chance to warm up. And unfortunately it's not a very warm day out there, so it didn't really help too much, but it did help some. And there you go. That's what it looks like after you have combined your butter and sugar together. See? Totally different looking stuff. And now to this I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water. Just plain old regular water. In it goes. And I'm going to beat that into my brown sugar and butter mixture. What you're going to say? Good luck mixing sugar and butter and water. But it does mix in here. Because you've already combined the butter and the sugar together, the water will kind of soften this up. Now you notice there's no eggs. There's no milk. That's it. This is all the ingredients that go into this. Okay, that's enough of that. I'm just going to bring my dry ingredients in here and dump them all in here at once. And I'm going to mix my flour and my oats and everything in here. So in here it goes. And then I'm going to have my oatmeal cookies. Over here I have a half a cup of raisins to stir in here. Once I get the flour all combined with my other ingredients, I'll be stirring in my raisins. Here goes my half a cup of raisins. These are just Thompson's raisins. Now, I'm just going to stir them into my cookie dough. Now, if you don't want to add raisins, they're done. But since I had a special request from my husband for oatmeal raisin cookies, well, I'm adding in the raisins. You really don't need them. You could also add to these, you could add chopped dates or apricots or gumdrops. Gumdrops? Anyway, something like that you can add to them too. But I'm adding raisins. Those dates do go really nice with oatmeal, as you know if you've ever had a date square. Yum! And now using my small cookie scoop, I'm going to make small cookies. This holds about a tablespoon, but you can use a teaspoon out of the kitchen cupboard for that. So I'm just going to I'm going to move this camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. And then they're going to be baked in my preheat. Then I'm going to bake these cookies in my preheated 375-degree Fahrenheit oven. And don't worry, any metric people out there, because I'm going to be putting all the metric ingredients in the description file when I write this up down below. Okay? So here I go, scooping out cookie batter. My oven's already preheated to 375. Now I'm going to scoop out my cookie dough. It says to put them about 3 inches apart, but that's pretty spread out on your cookie sheet. I'm just going to spread them out here a bit. This batch of cookie dough is supposed to make about 5 dozen cookies. Okay, we'll start with that many on my sheet. And now it says to take a fork that's been dipped in sugar, which I'm doing here with this plate. Dip a fork in sugar and then flatten them down to 1/4 inch thick, which is about a centimeter, I guess. 2.54 centimeters. So that would be 2.54 centimeters is an inch. So anyway, there we go. You can see they're kind of nice and thin. Oops. All right, these are going to go into my 375-degree oven for 8 to 10 minutes. Keep an eye on them. You don't want them to overcook. So now I'm just going to do these. And there we go. My first dozen cookies ready to go in the oven. And I'll be back when these are ready to come out of the oven. And meantime, I'm just going to carry on putting more cookies on cookie sheets. Alright, and here are my first batch of fresh, hot oatmeal cookies. Look at that, oatmeal raisin cookies. Let me just get these off on the cooling rack here. Don't they look yummy and delicious? Look at that, all nicely raisins mixed in there with the oatmeal, a little sparkle of sugar on top. Yum! Nice and light brown around the edges and crispy and delicious. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed watching me make these cookies today, and I hope you'll like, subscribe, and make some comments below. Try this recipe out on your family, and I hope they enjoy them. Let me know the results. I hope that you'll come back next time and watch me on Ruby's Classic Cooking. Bye for now.